Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. Thank you for attending this morning. Today, we're going to look at how can you succeed in your independent studies with the Penn Foster system. If you are a current student or a student who's thinking about joining Penn Foster, this webinar, I think, will be beneficial for you. Even if you are a Penn Foster student, you may not know many of the things that I may go through in this webinar. So I appreciate you being here. My name is Miriam. I'm part of the instructional team here at the Penn Foster High School. I have been with the school since 2015. And I do primarily do the math part of the studies. And probably you have spoken to me if you have been calling the school. If you are no student, you will call and eventually you will get to speak to me. And today we're going to focus on two things: why Penn Foster is a unique experience, and also how can you use the Penn Foster system to succeed in your independent studies. We know that Penn Foster offers a diploma accredited nationally and regionally, but primarily the study would be coming from you. You have to set up a plan yourself and you have to do it the way that you will succeed in your studies, and then eventually get to graduate and receive your diploma and your transcript. So we'll see together how can we use the system to benefit you as a student. Of course, if you have any questions, you are welcome to type them in the questions box. If you look on the panel that you have, there's a questions tab there. If you click on it, it will expand and there will be a box that you can type in your questions on. Hopefully we'll have some time at the end of the webinar that we can go over some of your questions. So why Penn Foster is a unique experience? Well, first of all, it's a distant education. It's not similar to the traditional school that we have been once into. I did attend traditional school, and now I'm working with Penn Foster, so I can relate to the different experience with both. Well, the study material with Penn Foster is mostly online. We do ship a book if you request so for certain courses only. We do not ship everything, but most of the courses are online. Well, in the traditional school, you have to carry those physical books, and you have to go through all of the books that you are provided. The pace, you determine the pace depending on your skills, depending on what you do else in your life. We have adult students who work full time, have kids, and also wanna achieve receiving their high school diploma from Penn Foster. So the self-paced program allows you to put the schedule that you like, that would work with your lifestyle. If you are only an underage student, does not work, you are able to do a faster pace. Now, a faster pace or a slower pace, it does not mean that you can just finish the diploma in 1 or 2 weeks. It does not mean that. It means that you can wake up in the morning, 2 a.m., thinking about that math problem that you saw in the exam, and you finally knew how to do the problem. You can log in 2 a.m. in the morning and do the question and save your answers in the exam. So self-paced does not mean that you can just earn a diploma in a couple of weeks. With the traditional school, we know the teacher or the district will pace how the curriculum will be taught and when and how long it will take them to finish one lesson. Homework, there is homework available with the Penn Foster system. You may see it in your study units as self-checks or discover more questions. These are not graded, but they are encouraged and recommended. And we know all, if you do not practice any subject, science, math, social studies, you may not do well in the exam. So we would encourage that you go ahead and discover more questions. In traditional school, it's mandatory. You have to do the homework and you have to do that many questions that the teacher gives you. In Penn Foster, exams are mostly online and multiple choice exams. You are able to answer some of the questions. If you're tired, you want to have a break, somebody interrupted you, you can save your answers and come back to them later. In the school, mostly subjectives, if they are multiple choice exams, they are paper exams, you have to sit down and finish the exams like now before the period ends. With Penn Foster, you are the leader and you are active learner. In the traditional school, you are the recipient of the learning. With Penn Foster, we have teachers. All of our instructional staff and instructors are certified to teach their discipline in the state of Pennsylvania. And also in the school, of course, they are certified, but they are the ones who create your learning. They dictate you what to study and when. With the instructions, online instructions are available as needed. If the student need them, they can call, chat, email, or schedule an appointment. We're going to go over that later. In the classroom, it's one-to-many. The teacher has to teach like maybe 24 kids in the classroom, and you may have a chance to see her or him after class, and you may not. I'm just looking at some questions here. Um, well, Peyton is asking, does this help with future college classes? Well, you have to have a high school diploma first before you enroll to any college. Either it's a Penn Foster college or any other college in your local area. If you mean if the independent study will help you succeed in college, if this is what you mean with the question, I think that I think that independent study is a manipulation of like a simulation, I'm sorry, for the real life. You have to decide your goals, you have to decide your pace. So with college, they let you depend on yourself on that way. You decide what to study, the courses that you want to study, and how you're going to study them. The college more structured because you have to have labs, exams, and final exams, but still you have more freedom than high school to decide what to do with the college. Okay, now how would I start then? If you are a new student or fairly new, or you still want to consider Penn Foster, the first thing that you want to do after you enroll with Penn Foster is create a new email address. This email address you want to dedicate for Penn Foster communications only. We send a lot of emails. Those emails may be private information about your account, so you want to really keep them saved in your email, because who knows, you may need to go back to them. So for example, we send your ID number through email, so you need to have that saved in your email. Also, we send some help tips, how to schedule your exams. We're going to get later into details on how to pace yourself. Also, we send emails about financial goals or financial news, if there's a discount going on, or if you want to refer a friend, what to do. And then finally, we send how can you reach to your instructor. So these kind of emails, and we send lots of them. So my recommendation is do not mix up the Penn Foster emails with other emails that you may get, like ads or other emails from your bank, for example. You just separate one email account for Penn Foster. That would be easy for you to go back to your information, find them easy, and track what is new with Penn Foster. Now, another area that you would like to check if you are enrolled already with Penn Foster is the message center. And the message center is where, when you log into the account, you will see on the top right corner of your screen a bell shaped. This bell shape is a message center. Mostly instructional help or news are posted to the message center rather than email. So if you click on the bell shape, for example, it will give you the list of new messages that comes mainly from the education department, like webinars, upcoming webinars, for example. If we see that you're struggling with one or two courses, we may send you a message through the message center, providing help, maybe giving you the link for our YouTube channel for recorded webinars and recorded lectures. Now, when you set up a plan, you need to be realistic. You need to consider all the factors. What do you do else in your day? For example, how much work left after you transferred over some credits from your public school? Now, I spoke to students before, and once they enrolled, the first question they asked me, do you think I can finish this diploma by mid-May? So mid-May will be like 3 weeks from now. That is not a realistic plan. That is going to put too much load on yourself to get exams done, and chances are students who just want to finish in a couple of weeks, they will not learn something. They may go to a job after the diploma and they will ask them to do a simple writing piece or a simple math problem, and they may not be able to do that, so they have to go back and review everything they have learned in a diploma. That is not the right way to do it. To set up a realistic plan, you want to be easy on yourself, you want to be realistic. Now, the diploma itself is 21 and a half credits, which is 22 courses. You need to decide which pace. Now, we did provide a study planner within your portals. The study planner will help you to pace out your exams. They will not make you commit to those dates, but they are suggestions if you want to meet a certain graduation goal. So now, if you go to the portal and log in, you will see on the top right, if you're connecting from a laptop or PC, a section on the page that says My Program Goal. And that will ask you, what is your graduation date that you have in mind? What is your goal? If you set up that date, it does not mean that you have to graduate on that date. It simply means that you are looking forward to graduate on that date, but the actual graduation date that will be printed in your diploma will not be the date that you determine here. It will be the date of your last exam in the program. So if you click on update, and that will update your goal. Maybe you thought that you can finish the diploma in 6 months, but things happens. Maybe one of your kids got sick or something. Maybe you had difficulty somehow and you cannot study as you planned. So you can go ahead and update your goal. When you click on it, it will give you 4 plans. Either the accelerated plan, which is what we recommend, that is our fast-paced. So if you enrolled in the beginning of April, for example, June 22nd would be the accelerated one. And these dates would be depending on how long your program is. That comes from a short program I enrolled myself in, so that's why it gave me a sooner date. In your diploma, it may not give you a date earlier than 6 months from your enrollment date, just to make sure that you have a realistic plan again. Recommended, that would be the regular pace. Extended, that would be like a relaxed pace, and then you can customize your own goal. The customize your own goal will not give you an earlier date than the accelerated, because we did not want to encourage students to just take exams and fly through the program. We want you really to do the questions on the homework or the discover more or the self-check questions, digest the information, go to the exam, do best as you can in the exams, and then submit them. That will take a lot of time. But if you set your goal to the January 10th, 2019, and you hit save, you will see then the dates displayed across of each exam will change to meet the goal that you set for yourself. I'm just reading some questions. Patricia is asking about the email. Well, she's asking if you already set main email for Penn Foster. Is it okay to change email for Penn Foster? Only email can be changed. When you set up, like for example, if you go to Gmail and create like a brand new email address for you just to dedicate to Penn Foster, you are able to provide that at the time of enrollment. Or I want to go back and show you how to change your email address. If you give like an old email that is cramped with lots of emails, but now you want to organize, let me go back and show you actually. So if you go on your page, the home page, you will see the human figure here. Click on it and you will see account preferences. If you click on it, it will give you an option to change your mailing address, your email address, your phone number, and your password. So this is how you change your email address. Once you save your changes, it will reflect in our system in about a couple of minutes. Okay, well, Nihas is asking if our diploma is enough credits to go to college. Well, it depends on the requirements in each state. Our diploma is designed to satisfy the graduation requirements in the Pennsylvania state. So you need to go back to your school district and ask them, I'm going to earn my diploma from Penn Foster. They are based in Pennsylvania. How many math credits do I have in my state? How many social studies credits I have in my state? We are accredited regionally and nationally, but still each state, they have their own requirements. Now, colleges across the country, we did have a list of the colleges that at that time, like last year, said that they accept Penn Foster. If you're not sure which college accepts Penn Foster, you can shoot us an email and say, hey, I live in, for example, West Virginia. I'm not sure which college that accepts you. We can send you the list that we know of, and you still have to call and make sure that they still accept Penn Foster. So you need to go back to your school district, make sure that you are okay. Any standardized exams that your state asks you to finish before you graduate, you have to do that through the school district. Okay, so let's then move forward to where we was. Okay, so the dates, the planner, again, remember those dates that you set for yourself are not deadlines. I get calls a lot from students are freaking out because they did miss a deadline they call last night. And I just explained to them, this is not deadline. This is only suggestions that depending on your goal that you set for yourself at the beginning of the program, you can go ahead and change them. If you do not change them, nothing will happen. You will not lose any points. Now, another way, if you do not like our planner, you can go with the like a simple calendar, like a paper calendar, and you can go like every week. You may have like a Wednesday and a Friday as your exam dates. You have to take exams on Wednesdays or Friday of that week. So that is another way. If you do not like our study planner, you can go ahead and construct your own plan using just a paper calendar. What are the physical space requirements for the program? Of course, you need to have a reliable high-speed internet connection because it's an online program. Some students I spoke to, a few of them said, well, I didn't realize you need a high-speed internet connection to look at the courses. Well, because we are distant education, we cannot ship everything to all of the students. We have 50,000 students at a time enrolled in our high school program, so we cannot do that. So make sure that you have a reliable high-speed internet connection within your residence. If not, if you cannot afford that, another alternative is to find a nearby public library to spend some hours, like a week or a day, to use their internet connection and use their devices. The devices that we recommend are laptop and PCs, but smart devices are compatible. With writing exams further in the program, we do recommend laptops and PC, but we have spoken to students who were using their iPhones, for example, to write an essay, and they were successfully submitted the essay and everything was okay. It depends on you what you can do and what you cannot do. Chrome is the recommended browser. Chrome is a browser that Google offers. It's for free. If you go to google.com and search for Chrome, it's a free browser again. It takes a few minutes to install that in your device. You also need Adobe Acrobat Reader. That's a free program that will allow you to read PDF files. And PDF files are the type of files that we have our study units saved as, and also feedback files for written exams. For writing exams, make sure that you have any of those three word processing programs, Microsoft Word, WordPad, or the Google Documents from a Gmail account. If you have a Gmail account, you have access to free word processing program that Google calls Google Docs. And that would be another option only for written exams. I'm just reading some of the questions. Well, Neha is asking another question about the requirements for graduation in each state. For example, if um, program calls for our program here in Pennsylvania calls for 3 math courses. If your state asks for 4 math courses, you may be able to take another 4th math course as an elective within your program. We have 5 required electives in the program. If you take 3 with us or core, but your state requires you to take, for example, algebra, you can take that as an elective. So it's either within the electives that you can satisfy the requirements of your state, or you can purchase the separate courses from Penn Foster. We offer these as separate courses as well. Um, Came on is asking, after we complete the online classes, do we have to go somewhere and take an exam in a classroom setting? There is no final exam. So for each course, there is lessons. For each lesson, there is an exam. Once you finish the exams within that course, you earn that credit as long as you have a 65 or above as an overall grade of that course. So there is no final exam like the SAT or the ACT that you have to sit and they watch you do the actual exam to get the diploma. Whenever you earn the credits, that's it. Okay, let's go back to our slides. Now, within the webinar, you will see where it says version 1 or version 2. Version 1 is a platform for our students who, like the older version of the student portal, and then version 2 is the newest one. Both of them, they function the same way, the same exams, the same lessons, the same everything. Nothing different other than the setup of things in the page. So for version 1 exam, for version 1 students who go to a course, click the gray button that says study unit for a random lesson. This is what you get. Now, how would you take notes on an online uh, reading, for example? When you open up the study unit like that, on the left-hand side, you will see a pen here, a pen icon. You want to click on it, and you see the ability to leave a comment. So if you click on this, you will be able to place the comment here, and in the box, write yourself a note to remember. Maybe you want to say this is an exam point, or you want to maybe put a link to a reference or a resource that you found good information about that one point in your study. Also, you can highlight the text. Highlighting the text, you can underline the text that you think is important. You can choose the colors for each of those noting capabilities. You can do the red for an exam point. You can do the green for a good thing to know, and maybe the yellow for let's call or email or chat and ask about that point. I do not really understand what they mean by that. So that is how you're gonna use that to take notes. Now, after you do all of that, you need to save. So next time when you log in, you find your notes and everything saved in your page. Now, version 2 is, again, the same thing, the same lesson. I just picked a different lesson from math, for example. And you have discover more questions. You have a lot of questions there. You may want to leave yourself a note. So on the bottom here, you will see like a yellow rectangle. You can click on notes. It will expand like that. And then you can type yourself a note. Maybe call to ask about the finding the common denominator in fractions. Once you type in your text, you have to hit enter. So that text will transform on that bigger area and that will be saved. If you do not hit enter after you type in your text, the notes will be lost when you log out of the account. Now, within the lesson, you are able also to highlight. So you can just highlight or select the text and then click on that button that will make it yellow, like highlighted in yellow, and that will remind you that this is something I need to look at before I go ahead and take the exam. Now, some courses, as I said, they ship with actual textbooks like biology, for example, the world history. Usually the courses that have lots of readings to do, we do offer the books as printed books if you request so. If you want to go with the ebooks, which is the same book that you would get in the mail, but it's an ebook version, you are able to access that from your portal. And some students are not sure where to go to access the ebooks. If you are version 1 account, you want to click on program and courses. And then under the title of your course, you will see the name of the ebook. See available ebooks, and then that is a clickable link. If you click on it, it will open up the ebook. So when you open up the ebook, you will have lots of chapters. Which chapter to read with which lesson online? Within your lesson, if you click on the study unit, for example, here, it will show you at the beginning of the lessons which chapter from the ebook or the printed book to read with which lesson. So make sure that you read the right corresponding chapters that goes with the lesson, so the exam would make sense to you. Some students do not wait for the book to be shipped or do not access the ebook, and they expect themselves to understand everything about that lesson, go ahead, take the exam, and then call us, say, oh, the exam doesn't make sense, there's some information not mentioned in the lessons. And when we ask, they said, well, no, I did not read the book. Well, make sure that you read the book, either the ebook or the printed book, for those courses. Now, for version 2, the same material, but now to access your reading, you want to access that lesson, and you will see chapter 25 and so on. So that will tell you where it says chapter so and so. This is from the ebook. You want to click on the button that says go to reading. When you click on it, that will refer you to the corresponding reading from the ebook. Now, everyone will get access to the ebook, whether you are version 1 or 2 from your account. Now, how can we take notes? Because it's lots of reading. We're not going to remember everything that we're going to read in that huge book. So there also are ways that you can highlight text. On the bottom right corner of your screen, you should see some tools to highlight. You can choose the colors. As I said, you can do yellow for questions, blue for like something you really was good to know, and maybe green is an exam question. On the left-hand side of the screen, you will see your notes there. And now you have the chance to also add notes to your highlights. So if you click on add notes here, it should add a note. So the box will show, you can just write this is a note, that this is important, just a link to like an outside reference that you would like to refer back to later, and then hit submit, and you should see that there. Also on that side, you are able to click on the magnifier and search for any word in your ebook. If you are looking for a specific, for example, war, since we're on the American history course, you can type in the name of that war, like Civil War, for example, and all the pages that has that word will come up. Before I go on to here, let me see some of your questions. Okay, I see no questions there. I'm going to wait a little bit until you think of more. Now, this is with the ebooks. What about the lessons? Now, we know how to take notes on online lessons and how to take notes and highlight with the ebooks. What about if you do not like to stare at the screen for hours and hours? You want to print your lessons. It's going to be too many number of pages, and if you have a good printer at home, or you're planning to send that to Staples or any other place that have professional printing, you can do so. So for version 1 students, you are able to open up the study units, and that would be a PDF file. That's why you need the Acrobat reader. And you're able to click on the icon that says print. and that will send that to the printer that you decide where to go. Or you can save, that button will save the reading for later. Maybe you want to read from a screen, but you don't have internet connection available all the time. So you can save the document as a PDF file in your device and then open it up later and read offline. Now for the Acrobat Reader, I wanted to show you where to go. You want to go to Google and type in Adobe Acrobat Reader, and that site will come up. It's free, so it's only 3 steps. You want to hit install now and then follow the instructions, and it should be fairly easy for you to install the program. Okay, version 2, you have the same exact reading for the other lessons. I just chose something from a different area, from math. So you have that kind of reading. You don't have a PDF file when you access your lesson. You have a printable lesson material option here. If you click on it, that will transfer this reading from your page to a PDF file. So again, you need the Adobe Acrobat Reader to save or print your study material. When you hit the printable lesson material, it will just give you the title of the lesson that you are printing. If you click on it, that will give you the same lesson in the PDF format, either save as a PDF file that will just save the file for offline reading, or you can change that to an actual printer to print out your lesson. Okay. Kimon is asking a question. What would be a good amount of time in a day to spend on your online studies? Well, again, it's a self-paced program. You decide. As I said, we have a lot of adult learners population with Penn Foster. Some of them, they have kids. Some of them, they work 2 jobs. Some of them, they care for elderly persons, and they choose what to do. The normal pace that we would recommend would be like a couple or 3 exams per week. That will allow learning. That will allow you to go ahead and read every single thing corresponds to that lesson, do the discover more questions or self-checks, ask questions or call or email if you have questions, and review the material, take notes. So about 3, maybe 4, it depends on you, really. If you take 2 exams per day, that would be fast. But if you have plenty of time during the day, if you do not have any other responsibilities, you can do that. Not recommended unless you go ahead and do the homework, which is, again, the discover more questions, lesson reviews, or self-checks. So I hope that I did answer your question, but I don't have a definite answer for that question. Okay, back to the slides. Again, Adobe Acrobat Reader is something required to print or save the lessons. Now, if you choose when you enroll to the program that you get printed books, it doesn't mean that you're going to get, again, printed books for each single course. No, it's only for those courses that we do offer textbooks for, like biology, world history, American history, and so on. Now, how would you know the status of your book? Where is it? Is it going to come soon? Did it ship out yet of the school or no? When you log into your portal, you want to go to the home page, and then I would believe down the page you will see a section on the page that says shipping status. That will show you where or what is happening with your book right now. And if it's being prepared, meaning it's still in the warehouse being labeled and prepared to be shipped out. If it's a back order, meaning that we are out of stock and we have to wait for more books to come to our warehouse so we can ship them out to the students. So you have to allow more time and not take exams until you see prepared or an actual shipped out date. Or you may see the date. Your most recent shipment was shipped on so and so. And then if you click on view shipment history on either status, you'll be able to see a list of all the books that has been shipped in the past and also the current one that was shipped out. So this one was a literature, a bunch of books. It was shipped out on this date. If you want to see where it is, because we now use UPS, you can click on Track It. The Track It will show you where it is about and when or how many more days until the book arrives to your address. And make sure that the address on your file is the address that you want to receive the diploma and the books to. And that would be the Track It page from UPS, and it's the usual one that when we order anything from other online stores, this is what we see. I did delete some of the information that was specific to a certain student, but you will see the state, the city, the zip code, and of course US, and then how much is the book, how much it weighs, to where. It will give you a package ID and package ID code, and all of these will help you with tracking your shipment. Okay, now some students want to plan really ahead and wants all the books to be shipped out in one shipment. What the program usually does is when you are approaching the American history course, then it will prepare that one book and ship it out to the school. And then when you approach the biology, they will prepare the biology book and ship it out. So it's going to be one book at a time. Unless you want everything shipped out in one shipment, you need to sign a waiver. A shipping waiver means that you have to be paid in full. And also, you are signing that if you withdraw from the program, we cannot give you any money back because we have shipped out all the books for the program. So it makes sense that we cannot give you any money back because you have everything already. So to do that, if you're interested to do that, it's not required. If you want the printed books, you can just wait for one book at a time and you don't have, in this case, to pay all the balance at once. But if you did pay the balance at once and you want everything shipped out, you want to sign the form, go to resources, and then click on the student catalog and form link. And that will take you to a bunch of forms that we have available in your portal. One of them down the page says shipping waiver form. And if you're paid in full, this link will say that click here to complete and sign electronically will become available, and you're able actually to just sign it electronically. And then we can just put all the books in one shipment and ship it to you. And that way, if you want to plan ahead, if this is what makes you feel comfortable having everything that you need under your hands, you can do so. Okay, Nasser is asking how much does it cost to change an elective? It depends what elective you want to change. If you, for example, had an elective that was shipped out to you, like a book or any materials, and then you decided this is not what I wanted to do, the fee for that is $40. And of course, you understand that fees are subject to change, but I'm talking about today. The fees for changing an elective that has shipped out is $40, and any other elective that did not ship out, meaning that the electives is strictly online, that would be a $10 fee to change the elective. Okay, that is the form. You're going to fill it out, and then if you didn't want to electronically sign that, but you want to actually fill out the form and send it to us, you can do so. At the bottom of the form, you will see a fax number or an email address that you can send that to student services. Exam retakes is a feature with our program that for each exam, online exam or written exams have different policies. I'm always, when I say exam, I usually refer to the multiple choice exams. So for multiple choice exams that you pass or fail, you still have a second chance to retake the exam. The only trick is retake exams are only available within 30 days. So example, I took that biology exam, I scored a 70. 70 is a passing grade, but I'm not happy with a C. I want an A. So within 30 days, I need to plan ahead and retake the exam. when you retake the exam, let's say you scored a 90, you're happy with a 90, so the system will ignore the 70, the lower grade, but will take the 90 as the final grade for that exam. There's no second or third chance on the exam, so you cannot retake the exam twice. It's only once. So if you fail the exam and then fail the retake, that would be it. But the system will take the best of the two failing grades. Now, with the retake exams, you can earn up to 100%. So there is no limit on a maximum grade on your retake exams. I'm saying that because I want to encourage you to retake exams that you, especially that you, if you failed any of those exams, you want to really consider retaking the exam since you have the chance to do that. There's no fees to retake an exam, but you need to plan that within 30 days of your first attempt of that exam. If you are not happy with your grades, use the chance to retake the exams. If you're happy with them, just ignore the retakes. They're not required, but they are given as a chance if you want to improve your grades. Now, the one thing I want to mention is retake exams are not identical to the first take exams. So if you took the biology exam, you know what the questions were, and then you made note. 1 is A, 2 is C, and 3 is B, and so on. If you took those answers and applied them to the retake exams, it's a high chance that you will fail the exam because the retake exam is a different exam than the first exam. It's randomized. So do not use your answers from the first exam with the retake exam. And some students would call and say, oh, I didn't realize the retake exam is different than the first take exam. But at this point, we cannot just reset the retake exams because the students are not aware of the policy. Make sure that you read the question in any exam before you answer. Just do not plug in the answers without looking at the questions. Okay, how to retake an exam. Version 1 students, you're familiar with that page. Now you go to program and courses. You want to retake an exam under physical science. So find physical science. Click on that arrow, it will expand like that, and you will have the orange button that says retake exams. That is a take exam, meaning that you never did take the exam in the first place. Retake exam and retake exam, meaning that you did attempt it once, but there is a chance to retake the exam. If you click on it, that will bring you the randomized retake exam. If you want to review the course, which is recommended that you review the course first, the lesson first before you go ahead and retake the exam, you want to click on study unit, review, take more notes, and then go ahead and retake the exam. To view the grades, you can just click on grades, and that will give you a big chart of all of the grades. The bolded one are overall grades for courses. The unbolded ones are just grades for the exams. Now, when I was referring to the study planner, you are able to change those dates. Any day that has the calendar icon displayed after them, it means that you are able to edit that. If you're using the study planner and you do not like that date, you think that, no, that date would not work for me, you can click on the calendar planner, the calendar icon. It will open up a calendar and you can choose any date other than the one that you're not happy with. Would it affect your grades if you missed the date? No. Would it give you points, extra points, if you took the exam earlier than those dates? And the answer is no. These are only for you to make use of. Version 2 students have this kind of account. Again, program and courses page. You did finish a course, but you're not happy with the grades. Look for the other active courses section. Under that, we'll see the courses that still have retake exams available and active. If you want to retake an exam under orientation, you want to click on orientation, and that will expand and will give you which exams have retake exams available, and that will have the orange button available. And you click on it, that will take you to the exam. If you want to study more before you retake the exam, you want to click rather on the review course first, review, take notes, and then come back to this area to retake an exam. Again, the calendar icon, change the time or the date of the exam. It will not affect your grade, it's just for you. Electives. How can you choose your electives? Well, you are only now able to choose electives when you have only 2 courses left in your core courses. The core courses are the courses that every single high school student sign up with Penn Foster has to take. If you have only 2 with no overall grade yet posted, only 2. If you have 3, you cannot you cannot select your electives, but you have 2 or 1 that are missing an overall grade, you're able to go ahead and select your electives from your end. So to do that, you want to click on resources and then click on the link right under the video that says uh, student catalog and forms, and then you are able to click on high school elective course descriptions. Make sure that you read the descriptions before you select a course. Some students, they think the algebra is an easy course without reading the description, and then they sign up for algebra, and then they take the first exam, and then they say, well, it's going to get better later, and they do all of the exams, and then they end up failing the course because they did not read the description first. So make sure that you read the description before you ask or select your electives. If you change your mind in the midway, you have to pay a fee to change your elective. And then whenever you're done with deciding which electives you want to do, you want to click on that link, choose your electives online. If you click on it, it will bring up a list of electives. You can mix and match any 5. If you transferred over some electives, you may have to take less than 5. Some students are able to choose a career path, and a career path does not give you a license to practice that career. It's just introductory courses in that field. For example, the veterinary assistant, for example, it's not going to give you a license to practice that, but it will give you introductions to how things work in that field. Now, how also you decide to take electives, you need to go back to your school district or the state graduation requirements. If you want to see 2 algebra classes, then you have to take 2 algebra classes as electives, for example. If they want to see like a 4th or 5th science class, then you have to take a general science elective. So that would be the number 1 decision maker for you, which elective you choose. And then next, of course, your interest. If you hate math, do not take calculus, for example, or algebra. If you like science, then make sure that you take something that goes along with your interests. Okay, let's move on. Students with special needs. Now, with us being an online school, you know that public schools, and I'm not sure private schools too, they do get state funds to accommodate students with special needs, and they have to do that under state regulation because they receive money for that. Penn Foster does not receive any state funds to do that, but we as a Penn Foster family decided to make it easier for our special needs students. We cannot, of course, assign a psychologist or a special needs teacher for each student. What we can do is ask students who have a documented disability. They need to have a doctor's note, the doctor that they see for their disability. A psychiatrist, for example, or a specialist, or just the family doctor. We need a note from the doctor describing what kind of disability, what is the nature of the disability you have, and how it would affect your comprehension, for example, or the everyday life that you do. Also, with that note, we need an ADA form filled out. An ADA form is available on your portal as well, resources, and then click on the link that says student catalog and forms, and then you will see the last form on the page. It says accessibility, and you can click here to download the ADA form completed with the required information and send it to student services. The student services We'll take that to our committee who does make decisions on who's gonna receive the accommodations. So we need a doctor's note and we need the filled out ADA form. What kind of accommodations we as a distant education school can offer? Well, we cannot evaluate IEPs because we don't have psychologists in our staff. And we cannot change our exams. So, for example, our questions, multiple choice questions, have four choices for each question. We cannot omit one and give you three options instead of four for each question. We cannot do that due to the vast number of exams that we have and questions, and it's going to be really unfair to do that to a group of students and not to do it for others. What we can do is, if the committee sees that yes, that students need to have printed materials, for example, for all of the courses, then we are able to ship out the materials for all of the courses, including the online ones. Also, if the committee sees that, well, flexible time would make the student feel more comfortable and relaxed. Some students have an anxiety, and whenever they look at the due date or the expiration date of the program, they feel that they're going to fail. So we can extend the study time as needed for the students, sometimes at no cost. But the decision has to be made by the ADA committee. We cannot omit any courses from the program. Everyone has to take the number of courses required, cannot alter exam, and cannot evaluate IEPs. Well, the state required exams, I'm answering Neha's question. Thank you for posting lots of questions, and these are so beneficial for all of for all of us. If your state requires you to pass a standardized exam, like in Pennsylvania, for example, students have to take the keystones to graduate from high school. You need to arrange that with your school district. Penn Foster does not administer any of the state exams, and Penn Foster does not administer any of the SATs or ACTs. These have to be arranged by yourself with the school district. So reach out for them and see how you, as a homeschool student, I'm sure they have some kind of policy that they offer to homeschool students. And that is the form. At the end of it, the fax number or email to send out the form and the doctor's note. Now, how can you reach out for help? You're working on that crazy math lesson and you do not know how to add fractions, and you want to really speak to someone. You can reach for help from our instructional team several ways. You can go to your portal and click on Help and Support. That's for version 1 and 2, Help and Support. And then you are able to either click on here, Ask a Question, and that will bring down like an email form to fill out. If you're interested to send us an email with details of the question, which page the question is, and why you think the question may be wrong, or it's like so hard you want help on that, and then write your question, your email, and hit submit. Or if you have version 2 program, you will find the same option here, and then you fill out the email and submit. Or if you have a brief question, it's not a long question, you can chat. You can click on the chat feature here or there, and that will connect you with one from the instructional team. I'm looking at questions again. Okay, well, that is it with how to use the Penn Foster program to succeed in your studies. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have for me. It's a chance for you to ask if you are considering to join Penn Foster or you are a current student and things are not clear. There is the right time to ask here or the other webinars that you will attend throughout this week. Okay, well, I think I did answer all of your questions throughout my webinar. If you still have any questions, you are able to either email, as I showed you here. You can email, you can call to inquire about the program if you consider joining. Okay, a student says, I'm not getting to register for the additional presentations. Is it the technical difficulty that you are facing, or that you do not want to? I wasn't clear on the question. Well, I mean, Kimon is asking, do you have to do those? What do you mean? Like attending the webinars or the standardized tests? Extracurricular activities accounted for. Well, I mean, because we are distant education, again, we do not have extracurricular activities like sports or music. We have courses that you can study them as electives, like music appreciation, for example, but we don't have like an actual activity to put together for our students to attend. So in our program, no. Extracurricular activities are not required in the program. We encourage homeschool students to get involved in the activities in their area, but with Penn Foster to receive the diploma, no, these activities are not required. Brian is asking, can you request more electives? The answer is no, you have to take 5 electives. Either the 5 will come from your transfer credits that you've done with your local school, or if you didn't transfer any credits for electives, then you have to take exactly 5. You cannot take more. If you're interested to take more courses, you need to sign up with the single courses. You have to purchase them separately from the diploma in another department, and you will receive official transcripts when you finish those extra courses in a separate transcript rather than the high school and the extra courses combined. So you're going to receive 2 transcripts, one for the high school and one for the extra courses you decided to come and do with Penn Foster. Well, the fee for the more electives or more like extra courses that you would like to sign up, that is separate from high school. When you call high school, we can transfer you over to the right department who can sell you different like separate courses, not to do anything with high school. So I'm not sure about the pricing of that. Attending webinars with a high school program is not required and it's not graded. We recommend that you just show up to the webinars or at least register to receive the recorded webinar later on, just for your benefit. But with Penn Foster High School, webinars are not required to be attended. Once you finish, Nasser, with your credits and diploma prints, and make sure that you pay the balance first, because we cannot print diplomas or release any transcripts unless the balances are paid for and cleared. Once you do that, you wanna allow 2 to 3 weeks to receive the diploma and the transcript in the mail, because simply we use regular mail too. It depends on how far you are from Pennsylvania. We have students from California calling, and they have to wait a fairly long time for the shipment to arrive to their address. Naha, the requirements for New Jersey for high school graduation, you wanna contact your school districts in your area and make sure that what they need for how many science classes, how many math classes, which math they want you to do, if you have to do any state tests. These are information that you need to acquire from the school district or the state. We cannot advise on that. I'm very happy that you have good questions. And as you know, you did attend the webinar today, but you still will receive a recorded version of that webinar sent to your email address that you did provide at the time of enrollment. Leslie, thank you. And I'm very happy to be with you here. And I hope that you enjoy the other webinars as well. Any final questions before I end the webinars? Well, I know the instructor for biology. We are here one team. I do the math, and other instructors, as I said, they are certified by the state of Pennsylvania to teach their discipline. I do answer general questions too on on the courses or the program, but when it comes to instructions or teaching, I do the math. We have a very good instructor for science, social studies, English, and Spanish also. So we have a bunch of team here qualified to help you. Can I get the email address that you want to like send messages to? Wouldn't be like an actual email address. You want to go through your portal. Remember when we said help and support, and then contact us, and then you fill out the form to send an email. Well, we are right on time, 11 o'clock. Thank you for the questions. And I wish everyone good luck. If you are a current student, I would want to see you all graduate and achieve your goal. If you are a student considering Penn Foster, I would like to see you in the future if you decide to join as a Penn Foster student. Good luck in everything, and have a good day.